We are joined now by Rick Rinella, Senior Advisor for the ACLJ on National Security, Foreign Policy, but also he's very involved in our nation's politics as well, especially when we're in these election years. And Rick, I wanted to go to you first on these comments by former Attorney General Bill Barr, who towards the end of the Trump presidency and surrounding kind of the January 6th and some of those issues was, and even in his book, was a bit critical of President Trump, but he's definitely had a come to Jesus moment after the 4 years of President Biden because, well, let me play it one more time because he thinks that, and I just want to play that short part, folks, guys, that a continuation of the Biden administration would be this for our country. Play it.
Well, Trump, and I said Trump may be playing Russian roulette, but continuation of the Biden administration is national suicide, in my opinion.
Rick, if Bill Barr believes that a continuation of the Biden administration is committing national suicide, I mean, I would imagine a lot of American voters feel the same way, regardless of how they may have felt about President Trump even 4 years ago.
Yeah, look, I think there's no question. We're about to see, Joe Biden is so bad, we're about to see Bill Barr campaign for Donald Trump. I mean, we're getting into that territory. People see what President Trump did versus what Joe Biden did as president. We're not talking about promises from politicians of what they might do in the future. The American people actually get to compare apples to apples. They compare presidencies to presidencies. And this is key. Donald Trump had a closed border and no wars. And that alone should win you the presidency when you look at the debacle that Joe Biden has gotten us into, and we're still not out of. Remember, we've got Americans being held hostage in Israel. We've got a fight over a raging war in Europe. I'm in Europe right now, and I can tell you that we have world leaders, people in Europe who are clamoring for Donald Trump.
Rick, I wanted to also talk to you because I think the Bill Barr shift is huge, and we've been talking about it the first kind of half of the show, but also about what's happening on our border. We now have a new report that nearly 25,000 Chinese nationals have been at the U.S. borders in 6 months. That's a 37,000% increase in 3 years. So when we talk about the southern border, the northern border, other borders of the United States, this idea that it's all Hispanics and it's all people from Latin America or Central America or South America, it's wrong. I mean, we've caught nearly 1,000 people on the terror watch list, and now we're looking at 37,000 Chinese nationals. I mean, this is a security threat. It's the fentanyl threat is a killer threat. I mean, the list goes on and on about how dangerous it is to have a border this open, and the Democrats in the Senate obviously didn't want that to even be tried in the Senate. Look, Mayorkas was not likely going to be impeached. He was not going to actually be found guilty. He was going to get acquitted likely by the Senate. But they wanted to make sure Republicans weren't even able to put this information forward to the American people to hear.
Look, I think the most frustrating part of this whole thing is that politics seems to reign supreme in Washington, D.C., and common sense is gone. You look at this border crisis, and it's just facts. It's numbers. You show through facts just how bad our border is and how open it is. And look, this has been going on for so long that I'm not surprised to see every nation getting the information that if you just make it to Mexico and walk over the border, you can get into the United States. Look, people have waited years and years and years and spent a lot of money trying to convince the State Department and DHS and the agencies that make the decisions for who gets to come into our country. They've spent years trying to convince legally different U.S. agencies. Now they're realizing after 3 years of this mess that they can just walk across the border. And so for 3 years, people have been preparing in every single country across the world. Everyone who wants to come into the United States has been preparing, and all they have to do is fly into Mexico, get to the border, and walk across the border. that's enticing people. Why would you wait in line and do the legal thing when it's so easy to come across the border? It's outrageous and it's wrong. And I'm not surprised that every single nation is taking advantage of it.
Yeah, we've also got this push, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Rick, for Biden and Trump to commit to fall debates. And that kind of all fell apart between the last cycle, in the Presidential Debate Commission, because Republicans finally said, you know what? I mean, you're picking the moderators who are left leaning, and they're going to be tougher on our guy than they are on the other guy, and they're going to call out our guy a lot more. They're going to be nastier to him, and it's just not fair. So we don't think we necessarily need to be part of this. What at this point in time, if you're advising President Trump, and things change from now till we get closer to November. I mean, do you think that President Trump should agree to any kind of debate with President Biden?
Yeah, I think most any debate he wins, we're going to be able to show that it's war versus no war, open border versus no a closed border. The stark contrast is unbelievable. I also think that we're beating the legacy media and the biased Washington, D.C. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. And we're not surprised that the New York Times, the Washington Post, or whatever legacy media is going to beat up on a Republican. We're prepared for it. I think people get it. But I'm no fortune teller, but just mark my words, Joe Biden and his team are getting ready to say we can't debate Donald Trump because of election interference or democracy or whatever their latest excuse. The things that they're doing, they're going to blame President Trump for and pretend like they can't debate him because it wouldn't be right. And the media will go along, and the media will try to not have debates because of some crazy, excuse from the Biden team. There's no possible way, Jordan, Joe Biden wants to debate Donald Trump. There isn't enough preparation or drugs to prop him up for those 2 hours. It's just not going to happen.
I tend to agree with you, Rick, and I appreciate all of your insight and having you as part of our team at the ACLJ. And again, folks, as we're part of this Life and Liberty Drive, and Rick, you know this, you're able to be part of our team because of our donors. And just take 30 seconds out there because we're able to keep you as part of our team, and we were able to go right to you after the administration finished up to say, can we get you on our team? Can we get you on the broadcast? Can we get you help behind the scenes? And we were able to work it out because of our donors.
Yeah, look, our donors are amazing. These people have been with us for a long time. And I believe that people are supportive of the ACLJ because they know that we have substance and we know we have a broad team. You're going to get a good debate and you're going to get follow through, not just media talking points, but actual lawyers and court cases. So we're a substantive team, and I hope people will support us.
Yeah, I do too. Rick, as always, we appreciate your support. And folks, right now, we are in a critical time at the ACLJ with our Life and Liberty Drive. And again, we're defending Israel with a new demand letter that's gone to the EU, foreign leaders, and the UN. We've secured major wins this week for Christian students banned from praying, even had their Easter projects destroyed. Donate now. Double the impact of your donation at aclj.org. And if you can, become an ACLJ champion. Choose an amount you can donate monthly.